meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, it gave me a notification that said, do I want to stay or leave? I thought about leaving.
You can't leave. We got a lot to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phantom Punch podcast is back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I feel like this is a big deal. This is episode 50, bro.
Episode 50 piece, man.
This is a 50 piece real quick.
Episode 50 piece, man. 50 and 0. It's the Floyd episode.
Oh, no. That's
going to turn this into a Floyd episode.
I'm out of here. Now I'm leaving. I'm done. Goodbye.
Let's talk about it. Let's get right to it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are trying to stay consistent for y'all. It is the tail end of summer. That means we are headed into what isn't normally the peak of boxing season, but this year it's going to be the peak of boxing season, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit on the horizon. We got a lot of stuff coming up. All of the big fights that are going to happen are supposed to.
I feel like we got to say allegedly with everything we say. About the sport of boxing right about now. So, allegedly, some good things is coming.
Yeah, supposedly we're going to get some good fights soon. So within the next couple months, a lot of big shit coming up that we've all been waiting on as boxing fans, boxing enthusiasts.
Yeah.
But what's up, man? I know you was being a mixy boy all weekend. You know what I mean? I seen you in the suit, nice little maroon all the way down. This guy,
burgundy, man, burgundy.
Oh my
burgundy,
God, burgundy,
burgundy me down. You feel me?
You were schmoozing away this weekend, bro.
Yeah. Hell of a weekend, man. Hell of a weekend. Shout out to Ray McCline, the whole Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I was down there with the family, celebrating all of the inductees. And just representing Jersey Joe Walcott. It was, like I said, it was a beautiful event. All of the who's was there. Again, shout out to all of the nominees that were inducted. We're gonna put together something special for y'all just to recap the whole weekend as a whole. It was too much happening for me to even capture to be able to share with y'all. But what I do have, we'll put together and make that a special episode. But outside of that, man, it was just a good time, man. You already know. When boxing greats is in the building, is just a different energy.
And it's nice to see that AC still does it, because AC, for me, Atlantic City is arguably like the mecca of boxing.
Oh yeah,
I know Vegas is taking over all of that right now, but like Atlantic City
and become more of a destination. You know what I mean? It's a destination spot, but but like AC's rich boxing history, it cannot go unmentioned or unnoticed or denied. You know
AC's like the heyday of boxing. That's like some great. Everybody's fought there. Tyson, I feel like Floyd fought there. Oscar
early on, possibly.
Yeah. Mad folks, mad greats in the sport.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was really dope.
It's dope, bro. But yeah, man. I mean, well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm glad you had a good time. I seen some of the stories and all of that shit. So
yeah, repping that fresh Phantom Punch podcast merch, man. Coming soon too. Coming soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be up soon where y'all can cop some shirts and we'll put our own kind of spin on some stuff. So, but yeah, that shop will be coming soon for y'all. What else, bro? What can I?
You already know.
Around? What can I tiptoe in with?
I mean, we get right into it, man. I mean,
all right. Well,
outside of what I had going on, there was only one thing going on in the boxing world.
That's right.
And you and I both know what that was.
So
Manny Pacquiao touched the ring once again.
It was beautiful. It was a wonderful thing to see. I mean, it was a good card overall. It was a good card. We'll get into the Manny fight and everything that went down and how it went down. Robert Guerrero on the card versus.
I didn't even know that him and Ortiz was going, and Victor Ortiz was going to be on the undercard.
Honestly, I saw that this fight was happening like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days before the fight, and I was like, wait, why are they weighing in? I was so confused when I saw them weighing in, and I realized, oh shit, I didn't know that they were fighting on it. I thought it was kind of funny because Manny was the main event, and then you have Robert Guerrero and Victor Ortiz on the undercard. And I'm like, damn, if this isn't like just everybody's like Floyd's old work,
right?
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it was. I thought that was kind of funny that like those two fought each other, and then Manny's on the on the main event. But yeah,
hold on, y'all. That's a dog. Come here.
She's very upset with you.
Yeah, she ain't seen me all weekend, so she acting crazy.
Yeah, she's jealous.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. So Robert Guerrero took on Victor Ortiz on the undercard. Did you see that fight or?
Yeah, I caught most of it. Like I caught it actually in. Oh, by the way, the FanDuel little TV situation they got going on in the Bally's, we need to book us some seats, man, and catch one of these fights down there. That's where I saw that. We didn't have like reservations or nothing, but we was mixing and mingling. So like I said, I caught most of that fight and most of the main event fight. But
shout out to FanDuel. That's where I've been.
Yeah, they got a dope little spot down there. And that was the other thing remember I had called you and told you it was crazy because a lot of the legends were in the building and they were all coming to the casino to watch the fight.
Yeah.
And in the big arena joint where they be showing the fights, they was only showing UFC. So that was like disappointing. You know what I mean? It's like how
that's nasty.
You got boxing royalty in the building and y'all aren't showing boxing. You know, but the FanDuel arena did, and this is not a plug, they're not paying us or nothing, but they did, you know, accommodate the fighters and shit. So it was dope. And I did catch the Guerrero fight.
That fight was not that exciting. I gotta be honest.
I mean, they looked old.
Yeah.
They are old, and
it
showed.
The theme of the night, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, besides that fight, Robert Guerrero, Victor Ortiz, they're gonna be the same fighters that they've always been. That's exactly what they were. You know, Robert Guerrero's 40 something. I think Victor Ortiz is like pushing late 30s.
Yeah. 30, I don't know, 37, 38.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But
even I mean, I don't want to start.
Nah. See, don't start. We'll get into it, but I mean,
is it old? Is it old?
Is what old?
I mean, it's older, but is it old?
Fam, this is not a conversation we're about to have about
37, 38, 39, 40. It's old in the arena of boxing, but it don't look that old on certain fighters. I'm just saying.
It looks old, bro.
Not that old.
Name somebody it doesn't look old on besides B-Hop.
That's one.
That's it.
Floyd.
It looks old. Don't even.
Not what we saw this weekend. None of that.
40 something years old. He looked old against Jake Paul, bro, or Logan Paul. I don't care how you flip it.
No, he did.
Old. He did, bro. He looked old. His body.
He looked like he was having fun.
His body looked soft, and his legs were not there. The speed was not there. The reaction time was not there. He won. Don't get me wrong, because he was.
You think his reaction? Logan Paul showed you Floyd's reaction time wasn't there.
Yeah, but
this is.
I'm only saying that
unprecedented hate.
I'm only saying that because he looked good, decent against Logan Paul. He won the fight. Like, if we're scoring it as a boxing person would score it, as a judge should score it, all of that stuff. Floyd won. There's no question about it. However, you put him against Yordenis Ugas right now, I think it's a rough night for Floyd, to be honest. I think that Yordenis Ugas, I think Sean Porter.
Well, let's talk about it, though. Crawford. Let's talk about it.
All right.
So, Ugas came.
Let's get into it.
What he needed. Ugas came with the one thing he needed: the southpaw killer. That straight right all fucking night, bro. It was there all night.
It was that looping right. That looping right hand.
Nigga,
that was throwing
every right he decided to throw was there, bro.
It really. I mean, it was there. It was. I'll give Ugas credit. He had a great game plan. And that goes and that speaks to his boxing pedigree, that Cuban pedigree. These guys learn it on a different microscopic level. When you're Cuban, you learn it to the purest science of boxing, where every inch counts. You know what I mean? Every slight movement counts. And he didn't waste energy at all. He fought his fight. And there's a lot of things, like obviously a lot of factors that play into that. The size,
absolutely, for that size difference, the length, his reach, the fact that he was just inserted a week before when you know Pacquiao was preparing for Spence, like we know, the reason why the arena was sold out, it was not for Ugas, it was for Pacquiao Spence. But all of those factors, they play a part, and I always feel like a substitute fighter has an advantage in that aspect.
Yeah, man. I mean,
especially fighting an aged Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take nothing. You can't take nothing from Pacquiao. I just wanted to bust your chops because the one time I pick your man, this is what he does.
I know.
Let me down.
I thought I was getting ready to I thought we was gonna have it out a little bit on the pod today, but I figured you'll come to your senses a little bit. We can't take that much away from you.
You can't take nothing from him. You can't take nothing from him. Other than, age and possible a lack of resources for whatever stories he took to climb up the weight classes the way he did. Those things might not have been available this weekend, and that's quite all right. You know what I'm saying? It's quite
First
all
and
right.
foremost,
We understand.
First and foremost, that is a rumor that your boy spread. There's never been any failed tests, unlike other people. I'm not going to say other names in boxing, but there's never been any sketchy tests with Manny. It was just Floyd threw it out there. You know what I mean? Just like we could throw shit out about the vaccine all day, every day, but you know what I mean? Like it's just speculation. It's not it's not rooted necessarily in fact. Whereas if he were to say that about Canelo, like there's
some truth there too.
Can't really debate that. You know what I mean? But
well, regardless of all of that, good fight.
It was
Pacquiao just sees his steps lower, a day older.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just is what it is, bro.
Do you think it was just like Father Time just finally like maybe catching up, or
that's what I'm saying.
Do you think it was any one thing?
Nah, it's a combination of things. It's age, yes. It's the substitute opponent last minute. It's the build up for I'm going to go in here one more time to try to etch one more letter in the paragraph of under my name for glory against a guy like Errol Spence, and then you get in the Ugas fight that a week before maybe changes your momentum and your inspiration for this fight. It's a lot of those things. It's Ugas coming in and just looking so much bigger, being so much longer. Just the right hand. It's a lot of things, bro. It's Pacquiao being winded towards the end. It's a number of things that went wrong for Pacquiao in the past week that led to what we saw. You can't be mad at it though. Again,
listen, I agree. I think it is just a combination of a bunch of things. I think, like you said, just to reiterate, I think it is age. His legs, were not there. Right. And that's one of like the main things that Manny has always had was foot speed and hand speed. The hand speed was there.
Calves this big, pause. Tree trunks.
Yeah, and it wasn't there, and I don't know if it was a layoff. I don't know if it was
COVID year.
Yeah, if it's just COVID, you know what I mean. There's so many different factors that go into it.
The dude is pretty much getting ready to run for president. Like he's doing a lot of things, and none of these excuses matter because if it was Errol Spence that he was seeing that night, and that's the Pacquiao that came out, this would have went way worse.
I don't think so. I disagree completely.
You don't think so? If that Pacquiao showed up, I guarantee you.
I guarantee that
because Spence would have knocked him out.
Nah,
Ugas was taking pictures of his work every time he caught him, and Ugas could have dropped him a good 2-3 times. He took pictures.
That's relative. I don't know, bro.
He took pictures, bro.
I disagree with that. I honestly think that Errol Spence is significantly more flat-footed than Yordenis Ugas. And while there may be some
debatable,
there may be more power there as far as like body shots go, because Errol loves to go to the body,
and Ugas didn't go to the body enough.
Barely at all. I wanted to say he did outland Manny as far as like basically every punch category goes, but I didn't see any numbers as far as body shots go. But he didn't go to the body enough. I agree with you, and I think that may have made something different happen. But with that being said, I do think personally that Manny had a game plan for Errol. And I think that Manny standing in the pocket, just trying to find different angles. I think that's a rougher night for Errol, just because Errol doesn't rely on his jab that much. He doesn't have that, like, I don't know, fucking 12. It felt like it was 12-inch reach advantage on Manny Pacquiao. Like it felt like a whole foot of reach advantage. He didn't have that. And the jab that he has is not as like much of a piston as Yordenis Ugas's jab was. Like his jab was snapping Manny's head back all night long. Like the whole entire night.
I don't have any alcohol, but here's the hoping.
Hey, look, man. I think that
you have a hell of imagination, my brother.
At the end of the day, does Manny hang these up? Does Manny hang them up? after this fight? What do you think?
I mean, it depends. It depends. I don't think he'll want to go out like that. I think he'll try one more time. And the only thing that I think that depends on is what he decides to do with this running for president thing.
Yeah.
That's the only. I don't think it's really about how he feels in his body yet, because I think he still got the dog. He still wants to try, but I don't know. I think he might give us one more showing.
You think so?
I think maybe one more time. I think so.
I think it does depend on, like you said, I think it does depend on whether or not he decides to run for president in the Philippines. I think that does mean a lot for him. And I think that as a senator, maybe he has slightly less responsibilities than like a president does.
Yeah.
So like maybe he can, you know what I mean? He can be gone for months on end and in training camp and all of that stuff. And it not be as crazy as if he were like the president of the Philippines.
Right.
I feel like, you know what I mean? That's not a job that you can just kind of half-ass do, you know what I mean?
You gotta really put you all into it, I would imagine.
Right.
And I mean, even if like as popular as he is, if he runs, I'm sure he would probably win. So that's what I'm saying. If he decides to run, I doubt we'll see him again. But
yeah, I agree with you. I think he didn't want to go out like this. I think he wanted to go out on a win. Or on his shield, you know what I mean? Like I think I don't think he'll let his last memory for us seeing him be a luck of the draw opponent, if you will. No disrespect to Ugas, but you know, that wasn't the plan. You know, luck of the draw opponent, stealing a victory. Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? I don't think he'll.
Yeah, for lack of a better term, bro, he kind of came in and spoiled Manny's I don't want to say victory party, because I don't necessarily think he would have beat Spence. I just think it would have been a tougher night for Spence. I think Spence would have got hit a lot more, just judging off of because he fought a lot like Sean Porter fights. And especially against an Errol Spence sized opponent rather than an Ugas sized opponent. I feel like he would have been in Errol Spence's chest the whole night, whereas like Ugas, that jab was like, I mean, he would just stick it. And
like I said, here's the hoping, man. I don't think it would have went much different.
Hey, look, we'll
not in Pacquiao's favor. Yeah, we'll never know.
Probably will never know, because I think I saw something. I had an interesting convo with my man Six from Everlast. Shout out to Six though.
What up, Six?
He said that he thinks Manny is gonna fight one more time, and he threw out a name, laid it up. Amir Khan in the Middle East. I would listen. I'm a Manny fan, so I'm biased. I would watch that as like as a goodbye fight, because I know he can't hurt Manny. So you know what I mean? Like
I don't. Yeah, but I don't know if I will.
On pay-per-view. No, but like
I don't know. I don't know if I care about seeing that. I don't care about seeing that.
But regardless, we don't know if Manny's. He said right now in the post-fight interview that he's about 60-40. Leaning towards retirement, I think, and he's unsure. He hasn't made up his mind. So, but again, bro, it was just crazy, like watching some of the lead into the fight. You know how they do, like especially PBC. Like they got a lot of good footage. They put great reels together for fighters, like accolades and all that.
Right,
but bro, just going down memory lane, watching him fight these guys,
right,
like Barrera and Marquez and De La Hoya. Fam, the names on his resume.
He's done it all, man.
The names on his resume are crazy. And that I do have a question about that for you, but go ahead. I mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he's done it all. Regardless if he decides to step back in the ring, lace him up one more time or not, he has nothing else to prove. Even this fight, when he calling out Spence, I feel like that was 100% a personal thing. It's not for the fans. It's not for the critics. It's not for any of that. That's a personal thing. And, fighters get to that point, especially great fighters, where, you love what you do and you've done it for so long and you think you can still
keep
pull one more out, we can see he's at that point. He's at that ledge where
it could get ugly if you keep trying to challenge the new guys. You know what I mean? The prime time guys.
Right.
But with that being said, bro, I did see this topic of conversation kind of came up a few times just amongst like boxing folks, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram or whatever have you, just kind of a debate and discussion about boxing resumes.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what came up is somebody made a comment. Actually, I think it was Coach Anthony. It was somebody relatable that I can reach out and kind of touch, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pause. But he brought up a good point, and he thinks that like people are bringing up like Canelo's resume and like how Canelo's has a great resume. I personally think that I would put Manny's resume definitely above Canelo's. But like when you rank them, like we're talking, let's say all time, I guess, pound for pound. So any weight class, anything. When you talk about Manny's resume, for me, that resume holds a lot more weight than Canelo, and even like he's mentioned, in my opinion.
Go ahead and say some bullshit.
So no. I'm just saying with some of the all-time greats resume, like I'm talking about Ali fighting the prime time guys, like what's his name, like Ken Norton and Larry Holmes, and obviously in his prime, in Ali's prime, he's fought. You know, he obviously fought Joe Frazier, George Foreman. Like, you know what I mean? Right. That resume is, when you look back at that resume, it's like, holy shit. Like, he's got Hall of Famers, like first ballot Hall of Famers on his resume during their prime. Like, I hold Manny Pacquiao's resume higher than, I want to say 90% of fighters that you can just rattle off. So like, I don't know where, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm throwing it out, and I know where you're going to go with it. And
I'm not going anywhere. You ended it at the perfect time before you stepped too far, and I can agree with that.
Okay, let's just leave it.
That's fine. I can agree with that. Pacquiao has had an illustrious career.
Amazing.
He's fought the fights. The one only, I mean, if you thought I was going to go with the Floyd conversation, I mean, that's undeniable. It is what it is. Hall of Famers all throughout his fucking resume as well. The only issue we ever had was them two fighting each other and what time they did. But even in that, Floyd's 2 years older than Pacquiao. So whatever time they fought, he was still 2 years more aged than Pacquiao.
Look,
that's that. I mean, that, and it's a shame that fight doesn't really define their careers, because that was the trajectory that we wanted to see meet at the pinnacle. You know what I mean? And
I agree. I wish that they would have had the Ali Frazier moment.
Yeah, I mean, like if they would have, if it could have happened earlier,
right.
And that fight we actually did get was maybe the third fight out of the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? That would have been, something that could have been something for both of their careers. But we didn't get that moment from them, and in essence, neither of their careers is actually defined by each other, although they were two polar opposite pinnacle fighters of their era.
That's a perfect point. I agree with you completely. I think that for like boxing fans holding them like so close to each other, like, and they've always been held so close to each other. I don't think, like, for me, the biggest win on Floyd's resume is arguably Canelo. I would say De La Hoya or Canelo De La Hoya or Canelo would be the two biggest wins for me. That it was like, I don't want to say.
The Zab fight was one of my favorite Floyd fights.
Too. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, absolutely. And I think
he had to make adjustments.
I think
that's he always does, but that was one of my favorite joints. But
absolutely, I think that those are career defining fights for Floyd, and I think Manny wasn't. And just being honest, and I think
that's what's so the Manny fight sealed the deal on what he already expressed he was and said he was, and what it would be. Like, there was literally, I want to say, no resistance.
Yeah.
It was just Floyd's fight.
Yeah, and that's what this looked like a lot too. That's what this Ugas fight looked. It reminded me a lot as I'm watching it, and I'm watching Manny he looked just frustrated, bro. He looked frustrated in there, and that's just kind of how I've come to the conclusion that, like, he's done. He needs to hang them up. I love Manny to death. I'm probably one of the biggest Manny Pacquiao fans just because I love that whole gladiator shit that he's got, but even as a fan, it's like rough to watch somebody in the ring not knowing what the fuck to do when you've known what to do this whole, like, you've had the tools your whole career, even if it didn't work out in your favor, like Marquez, but like you knew what to do. You knew when to step back. You know when to move around. All that stuff, and it's just he didn't have it. He was like stuck thinking in his head, and he couldn't outthink him. And to me, that just means like that's it. You got to like because it can only get bad from there. If you get in with a big puncher, you just get.
It comes to the time. I think he'll. I'm hoping he'll hang it up before anything like that crazy happens to him. One other thing I wanted to go back on with what you were saying, not to switch gears or nothing, but just the fact that Pacquiao, Mayweather, who they were, rising, ascending, same time, fighters that we needed to see happen. Their fight didn't define their careers. I don't want to see. I'm saying that to say I don't want to see that same kind of thing happen here with Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. I don't want to see this go beyond the boiling point and simmer down and like we never get that. You know what I mean? Because these are generational fights that just have to happen. And even like what I was bringing up with earlier about being down here in AC, boxing royalty is in the city and they come to the casinos and they can't even watch boxing on the big stage fight event arena space. These fights need to happen so that way it can be what it needs to be. You know what I mean? A main event. You feel me? So I don't want to see that happen again, but the way this shit is going, man, who fucking knows?
That honestly is a deeper, darker conversation because switching gears, we might as well just move on. If that fight doesn't happen, if we don't see the greats fight the greats,
before we switch gears though, bro, what's next for Ugas?
Oh, yeah, okay.
He can't be a cliff note on his victory.
That's true. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Yordanis Ugas. Look, listen, for everybody's focused on Manny Pacquiao. Like everybody's focused on what's happening. If Manny's retiring, if he's not, blah, blah, blah. Right. You know what I mean? That it does detract from Ugas and it shouldn't. Yordanis Ugas fought a beautiful fucking fight.
I feel like he let off the gas a little bit. I feel like I feel like he could have put an exclamation point on that victory, but
if he would have knocked Manny down, that would have been like that would have been career defining for him. You know what I mean?
I mean, even his victory is.
It is, yeah.
In essence, you know what I'm saying? It is. It's just what's next, you know?
Yeah. I think obviously he's in line. He's the guy who brought the top 5 down to top 4 now. Because there's now Spence, Crawford, Ugas, and Porter.
Yeah.
That's it. It was Manny before. Manny was in there because Ugas was like handed the title basically. Now they fought, got the title. Now we cross Manny off of there, and there's just those 4. And I think Porter has a win over Ugas, debatable, but he does have that win over. He does have a win over Ugas, and so that puts them, all in the conversation. Everybody's in the conversation now. Nobody has one leg up on the other except for Crawford, and Bud hasn't fought any of those guys. So, what's next for Ugas? Hopefully one of those guys, because that is a fight that is maybe not Crawford Spence level, but it's a fight that needs to be fucking made. Any one of those guys.
Right.
Let's do it. Let somebody fucking dance. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that does lead to the next topic that we have.
Let's go.
So Porter and Crawford has now officially gone to purse bid. Well, September 2nd, it goes to purse bid. So if no promoter comes in,
you gotta do like this with everything you fucking hear.
Hey, look, man,
in the water box.
Do like this. It could happen. It's for Spence. I'm sorry, not Spence. Crawford's WBA, I think. Yeah, he's a WBA.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a WBA titleist. So it would be for his belt. And then you get all of these guys or all of these companies throwing their hat in the ring. Triller, BBC, all of these guys. So I'm hoping it happens. Let's see it happen. I like that fight. It's a tough fight for everybody.
Yeah.
Porter makes it a tough night for anybody. So
everybody. Yep.
We've talked about it before. Porter would need to try and rough up Crawford. I don't know if you.
Bud likes.
He does that.
He likes to get dirty, boy.
Right? Yeah.
He's a dog too. So that could be fireworks. It could be fireworks of a fight, man. It could be.
Did you see Bud on Twitter talking shit to Spence after the fight?
After the Pacquiao? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
What did he say?
So basically, he was like, "Now I know this motherfucker needs me. Now I know Errol Spence needs me. I know you mad about seeing it, just like I'm mad about seeing it. And he said, now he's got to come see me or something like that. You know what I mean?
I hope so, man.
Yeah, I think. I don't know, man. We'll see. Whatever happens with that, I'm not holding my breath anymore for that.
You can't hold your breath for anything. But I mean, inshallah, we'll get it, man.
Yeah, bro.
We'll get to see it.
I'm excited to
one day.
I would like to see Porter and Crawford. I'm okay with that. Then
that's a good fight. That's an entertaining fight. Just like I said, I can see that being fireworks. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm that's not even something to settle for. It's not what I asked for, but that's something that I'm interested in. Yes, absolutely.
Listen, it's a must win for Crawford.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if he loses that fight,
bye Spence fight.
Yeah, maybe
possibly.
Maybe you get the Ugas fight, maybe not, but that drops you significantly because whether it's Ring Magazine or whether it's any other one of these media outlets, they all seem to hate Bud, and I feel like once he takes,
I just don't know what that's about, man. I really don't get it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I love Bud Crawford. I love to see him working. I've seen him post some stuff recently on social media, and I love to see even him hitting the bag. Like it's just, I love to see it. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Like I love this kid. He's a dog, and he's hungry, and I love it. I love what he comes from. And he stands for. So, but yeah, that fight is going to purse bid September 2nd. So we'll see who picks it up, man. Who wins the purse bid, and then let's make this fucking fight happen. Like I think that's a great, and that's across the street fight. Like that's, you know what I mean? Once Porter's PBC, and Crawford is Top Rank. So one, I did want to shout out something. I don't think I think you said you didn't see the Mark Magsayow. I don't know.
Yeah, I missed the other fight.
Masegow, I think is how you say his name, is a new up-and-comer standout amateur Filipino kid. He fought Julio Ceja on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas. And listen, man, that fight was, I put it on our Instagram. If you don't follow us yet, follow us at Phantom Punch Podcast. But I said it early in the fight because he came out and he looks sharp. Like if you can imagine Manny Pacquiao, but like a little taller, a little bit more muscle, and a little bit more like boxing skill, like pure boxing skill. I was watching this kid and he put down Ceja in the first round with a beautiful straight right hand, came out of nowhere, and then Ceja battled back throughout the fight as it went on, like the next couple rounds, like second, third, and into the middle rounds. He was battling back, and then he ended up like Julio Ceja ended up taking over on the cards. Like he looked like he was winning the whole fight. He was hurting this kid. He almost looked like he was out on his feet. And then I can't recall another fighter that I've ever seen this like actually do this, but it looked like he came out in round 7 or 8, Mark Masegow, and it literally just looked like he flipped the fucking switch and just turned back on, and he was throwing punches and bunches, and he knocked Julio Ceja out cold, bro. Like one of the worst knockouts I think I've seen in a while. And it was one of those where he hit him, he was out on his feet, and then he punched him again on the way down. Oh my God, that was
now I think I did see that highlight. Yeah, I did see that highlight. Yeah.
Man, that kid's pretty good. I'm excited to see what happens in the future. And it's like a Manny Pacquiao, but with an amateur background, which Manny didn't really have. And he's also Manny's fighter. Manny promotes him.
Well, there you go, man. There you go.
I don't know.
Salute to him.
It looks nice. He had a great knockout of the night for sure. What else we got, bro? I
mean, we want to talk Caleb Plant and Canelo. Just the conversation's still going on.
Did we say it's official? We said it was official last week before it was official.
I think we did, yeah.
But now it's official.
It is. And Caleb looked like he's ready to fight, man. I mean, we know, what we say. He don't have enough power to possibly keep Canelo off him. I get all of that. But the kid's confident, man. And I give him credit for that. It's in the eyes. Like we say, it's in the eyes, Chico. Fucking he's convincing me that he's ready. He said he didn't come here to be in the fine print. He came to be on the cover. And that was a quotable.
Sure.
I like that one. I like that one. You know what I mean? I like that energy. I hope it follows him into the ring when he goes to see face breaking Canelo. But we go.
Listen,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think
I'm rooting for him.
I am too.
I'm rooting for him, bro.
I am too, bro. I love
Gotta be
Caleb,
honest.
bro. I had this conversation with Barbosa this weekend at the gym. Shout out to Barbosa.
Shout out to TKO.
TKO. Salute to y'all.
I already know.
He brought it up. I don't know if we had the conversation in the gym or if we were if he listened to the pod, but like he thinks Caleb was gonna win. And I said, bro, you gotta understand something, man. Like you have to fight perfectly for 12 fucking rounds against Canelo. Like you just have to. There's no if, ands, or buts. And he said his rebuttal was like, yeah, you gotta fight good. You gotta fight perfect for 8 rounds because Canelo might gas out or tends to gas out.
Right.
But he put Billy Joe Saunders out early. Or I'm sorry, he put Billy Joe Saunders out late.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Like only out. Broke his face.
Yeah, broke his whole fucking face. I don't know, bro. I love this kid. I think he's a great fighter. I love Caleb playing his story, everything he's been through.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great. I mean,
stand-up dude from everything I can tell, and I love that about him.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I can't bet against Canelo right now. I can't.
Nah.
Just like after the Canelo fight, you can't bet against Floyd. After the Canelo fight, you can't bet against Floyd. I wasn't betting against Floyd after that. Fuck that. Yeah, for what?
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the same concept to me. You are unbeatable at this moment in time.
Right.
I don't know. And I think, yes, Caleb does have the tools. He has all of the pedigree and all of the makeup that Canelo's always had trouble with.
Right.
The southpaw, the boxer, the slickness.
Yep.
He has everything, every tool that you need to beat Canelo.
Yep.
But I just don't see it, bro.
How you
and the power.
How you keeping him off?
Exactly.
Right. Is that the power? How are you keeping him off you?
You got to keep Canelo. You got to make Canelo respect you. Just like Golovkin did. You got to make Canelo respect you. And he doesn't have any tools to make Canelo respect him. Billy Joe Saunders tried to outbox him. There's already been one white boy.
It looked good. He looked good for a while.
Look, listen.
It looked good for a while. Billy Joe looked good for a while in that fight. I will give him that. Stop.
Caleb said, I'll never let a white boy beat me. First and foremost.
I'll fuck with that.
Fuck that. First and foremost.
I'll fuck with that.
There's already been one white boy that tried to outbox Canelo and like touch him and score points and hit him. And we saw what happened. He got his fucking face broke.
Yeah, he don't got enough. He ain't got the soul that Caleb Plant got. Caleb from the trenches. He from America, man.
Listen, man, I'm with it. I'm rooting for him, but I'm not putting money on him because I don't think there's a soul in the world right now that can beat Canelo. I think he might come close, but after that, I don't think Charlo has it. Charlo doesn't have the footwork.
I mean, after seeing them, they're both of them, their last fights. I'm not convinced that they ready for Canelo. I want to see it.
Yeah, sure.
To see what will happen, but
all right, let's say
not convinced.
In a hypothetical world, he beats Plant, and then what next? What do we want to see
from Canelo?
Yeah, is there anything else left to see? We've all forgotten about Triple G, and that's okay because at this point in time, that's over with. Father Time, I think, has probably caught up. I don't know, bro. I don't think there's much else other than you can throw the Charlo brothers.
You can feed them the Charlo brothers, yeah,
and you can feed them Andre, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't.
Well, I mean, in a fantasy fight world, I mean, Ward could be waiting on the call out.
He already said he's not coming back. I'd love to see. That's the only person I can see beating Canelo right now. The only person. I think
even that though is not just I could see because I mean he's been sitting behind the desk commentating for Top Rank for what 2 years now? 2 years now, at least 3, maybe.
Yeah.
And then come back and just go right in there Canelo. With Canelo. That's not just it's not.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm an Andre Ward fan. I love Andre Ward. One of the smartest fighters outside of Floyd. I mean, comparable. They're computers. You know what I'm saying? Adjustments that they make, all that shit, I commend. But that's a tall order to just take the suit off and get back in the ring and fight Canelo right now.
100%.
That ain't easy.
And there's nobody close enough. I don't think that's like coming up either. Like, I don't think there's anybody that could put on weight healthily enough to take on Canelo. Like, I don't think that there's, because I mean, at that point, you're talking about Teofimo and he's too small.
Yeah.
Shakur and he's too small. Tank, he's too small. They're all too small. Everybody's too small.
Yeah.
I think Canelo is at the Roy Jones point in his career where he can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he can fight Usyk, and I think maybe Usyk might give him some trouble. But like, we're talking about heavyweights at that point, and it's just asinine to think about. Like, it's just crazy to think about.
Yeah. Speaking of which, is that fight still on, right? Usyk versus Anthony Joshua.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, right?
Don't say anything, and it'll happen. Pretend we don't know anything.
Right.
More and more people agreed with your take, or are agreeing with your take. That people are picking Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury, bro.
Right now, yeah.
Keith Thurman mentioned it on the broadcast. I've seen a couple other people, like boxing folks, boxing writers and stuff, talking about it, how great Deontay Wilder looks. Maybe not compared to Tyson Fury, but just how good he looks
for himself. Yeah, comparing him to himself. Yeah, he hasn't broken his focus, man.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Joe Goosen mentioned it on whatchamacallit. I think even Andy Ruiz mentioned it and said, I really think like he believes in Deontay Wilder. So there's a lot of boxing folks agreeing with your take, bro. So
yeah, well, we're gonna see, man. I mean,
you're gonna see, bro. I'm excited. That one's coming up right around the corner.
I mean,
October.
What a glorious and momentous night it'll be if the Bronze Bomber can bring one of them heavyweight belts back to America, because right now everything's across the pond.
Yeah, everything. That's one thing I wanted to bring up, and I forgot to bring it up the last podcast. So I was talking to someone who is promoted by Matchroom, and apparently Matchroom USA is no longer a thing.
Really?
So like Matchroom USA is no longer like an active body, I guess. So Matchroom is now all strictly based in the UK. And they're like you can even tell by their broadcast team, all their broadcast team and all of their commentary team, like everybody there is from the UK, based in the UK. And they still have fights here in the US, but like, I'm just kind of going off of what I've seen a lot on, what in the past couple months. Matchroom has transitioned all of their fighters to go fight in the UK. Like Ray just fought.
Well, yeah. Ray just went over there and got a title.
So I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that leaves a gap. If that leaves a gap for somebody like Triller to come in and kind of try and really be a boxing player here in the US, or if there's anybody else on the horizon.
What would be Triller's upside to channeling their energy solely into making it a legitimate boxing platform? I don't see. I don't know.
I think they're gonna keep pursuing that weird niche thing that they have with.
They're getting rich. They're getting rich with YouTubers
and verses and all of that. So
yeah, well, the verses is amazing. So I'm not mad at that at all. But
they better. It's got to keep being amazing though. So
I don't care if I never get another moment from verses again. The Locks versus Dipset was all I needed.
Historical.
I'll remember that that's for the next 30 years.
Yeah. Hey, look,
hip-hop in its purest form.
If Versus goes out on that, I am perfectly fine with that too. But I doubt it. I think they got more up their sleeve.
No, they got more in store. I'm sure we'll catch more moments, but that one right there was enough.
Yeah.
That was a Hagler Hearns of a Versus.
Was it though? Because
I mean, it became one-sided, but it was a fight. It was a fight.
Yeah, I guess it was. That was, like I said,
fireworks.
We talked about it before. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite verses. No doubt. And somebody listened to us finally. I guess it is Triller that listened to us finally. But Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos is now October 5th, somewhere around early October. In Madison Square Garden.
Is it really?
It is.
Are you shitting me?
Should we go?
Oh, we going, nigga. That's my fucking birthday weekend. We're fucking going.
I'm down, bro.
We are fucking going. It's in the Garden, nigga.
It's in the Garden too, not the.
I thought you was about to say, I thought they was talking about overseas or some shit.
Nah, it's apparently official.
Oh yeah, we gotta hit the Garden, nigga.
That might be fire,
Fuck
bro.
yeah.
That's
Gotta hit the guard.
for your birthday too, bro.
Yeah, gotta hit the guard, man. Gotta hit the guard.
I'll look for tickets, but it was just announced. I just saw.
Hold us accountable, everybody that listens to this shit. Because we was talking about going to mad fights before COVID hit.
It was COVID.
Then
It was COVID.
It was fucking COVID, and now this shit.
Also, I'm not,
gotta go to
bro.
the
I would pay some decent money for some tickets in the Garden, like to go see that fight, to go see pretty much any fight in the Garden, because the Garden's big, but it ain't like overly big.
Right.
I would pay a little bit because we don't got to fly there. But bro, these tickets that are like for the Fury Wilder fight,
yeah.
damn, we got to get some press passes because I'm not paying $1,800 for nosebleeds. Fuck that, bro.
Yeah. I feel you.
I'd rather watch it on the screen and drink some whiskey at home, bro. Fuck all of that.
Right. Yeah, any fight in the Garden, we can, we can make adjustments for that because, I mean, shit, like you said, we ain't got to fly. And if we don't feel like it, we don't got to stay, Listen, I mean, it ain't nothing but a drive.
New York there's always something to do, too. Not that you don't do that in Vegas, but there's always something. I don't know. It's old stomping grounds. I haven't been back in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro.
That's good news. I did not know that. I'm happy to hear that. Definitely trying to touch the Garden for that.
Yeah, we definitely gotta. I'll look into.
And Teofimo, my dog, and he gonna be home, so he better show the fuck off.
He's gonna.
He better show off.
He's gonna hurt that kid.
Yeah.
And then we get to see what happens in that division next. That's all very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that drama's brewing.
He's got to fight.
Well.
He's got to fight. What's the name again? That Leo or that Teofimo and that Loma. Sign me up. I'm there. Put it on pay-per-view.
Are those let's say they get a rematch, possibly turn into a trilogy, but start with just a rematch. Would those fights be the career defining fights for Loma? They are for Tio at the moment, but he's early in his career, and I mean more things are gonna manifest. But for Loma, is this the test for him?
It's gotta be because Loma is so much older. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Loma started later and he had all of the amateur experience and shit.
Yeah.
It has to be. I think it is for both of them. Because that turns the page for Teofimo. Like it makes Teofimo the champ. And then, you know what I mean? Like Loma couldn't. It was just like that. It has to be. That's kind of the end. Like, because he can beat these other guys, but if he loses again, I mean, he's got your number, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that's career defining for sure.
Word.
One last thing I did want to bring up that I didn't mention on the last podcast. I just wanted to chop it up, I guess, and see what you thought, see what our viewers thought, if anybody gives a shit. But we missed the whole entire Olympics, and we didn't even talk about it.
We did. I mean, there was so much going on, man.
There's a lot of shit going on, but 2 countries medaling more than the United States for once. Cuba, which normally gets all of the gold medals,
and understandable.
The Brits, bro. The Brits, Great Britain got I forget how many boxing medals they got, but they got a handful more than the US.
Hey, man.
And definitely more silver and gold.
They've been watching Klitschko's, they've been watching Tyson Fury, they've been watching Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? They got some people to look up to across the pond over there, man. So that seems to be rising in popularity more than ever at this point in time right now. You know what I mean? To have the heavyweight champs, bro.
Yeah, we haven't had a gold medalist in men's since Andre Ward.
Yes, let's salute Clarissa Shields.
Shout out.
Make sure she gets all of her credit and all of her props.
Absolutely.
Queen as she is. Salute that. But yeah, you're right, man. It's Ward, right?
It's been a long time.
And Shakur, he got the silver. I feel like he should. I was rooting for him to get the gold.
He should have gotten the gold.
He should have got it, but that he was devastated by that. But yeah, that's the last that I really remember.
Is there? Do you think there's any? I mean, having a 13-year-old myself, like, and knowing a good handful of like the up and come the kids who are in like the Junior Olympics or like the Junior Nationals and all that stuff. Shout out to Adam. Zayas, he won silver, I think, in the junior Junior Nationals.
Okay.
but he trains out of TKO. But with that being said, do you think there's any incentive like for kids to fight, or is it for kids to fight in the Olympics, or like are these? Do you think like the thing that is in America is like, yo, I can turn pro like when I'm 19 and not I can skip over all this bullshit, like the kid from Puerto Rico, Xander something, I forget his last name. He's got a crazy last name, but like that kid is like freshly like 18, 19, and he's pro.
Yeah.
And he had a great amateur career, but he's like, fuck the Olympics. Like there's no like incentive for him to be, you know what I mean, to fight longer and not get paid for it. Like
right. Well, as far as an incentive, the only incentive I can see is only going to call a select few anyway. And that's those who are really in the pursuit of chasing greatness, chasing legacy, and wanting to put their name down in the history books like the greats before them. Unfortunately, that's not a fabric of the cloth that people are cut from these days, because there's so many different ways to get to the bag. And
right.
And no knock to that, because you got to eat, you got to feed your family. It's respect to that. You can't knock nobody's hustle, but it's just not the same, man. As far as the Olympics, that means something, but it only means something to those that is chasing greatness. You know what I mean? And I don't know how many of the up and coming fighters, or fighters in general, the fighters that are fighting now actively, I don't know how many of them are actually chasing greatness and etching their name in stone. You know what I mean? So for the kids, it's like, why do that when I can just, you know what I mean? The easy, it's not easy. None of it's easy, but the easier way to getting some money out of this thing. And you know, that works both ways. Cause I mean, there's Olympians of the past that went on to be great fighters, great champions, and absolutely gave everything to the sport and left the sport with nothing. So at the same time, you have to salute guys like fucking Logan Paul and them, not boxers, but getting rich off boxing. Yep. So they are doing something right. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to see that for all of the fighters that put their blood, sweat, and tears into the sport and, put their lives on the line every night. But unfortunately, it just don't work that way. And some people leave without legacy and money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. That's just the sad truth.
Boxing is one of those very unique sports that shit happens to. It's not, you leave pieces of yourself in the ring. We talk about this all the time. I don't want to rehash it, but you know what I mean? It's a very unique sport and situation to be in. And that's why we have this podcast, bro. That's why boxing is just different. It's a different level. I mean, you can play every other sport, but you don't play boxing. So.
Right, at all.
Otherwise it is we're coming up on Labor Day weekend, and then we are September. I think there's a couple fights, but then we move into the big guys fighting in October. Heavyweight championship.
October should be exciting, man.
October should be good.
Also, October 16th. In between all those fights, we are having the unveiling of the Jersey Joe Walcott statue on the Camden waterfront. Yes, as far as I know, it is the only statue that will be on an actual waterfront behind a major city like that. And it's going to be exciting, man. I mean, it's going to be a big deal. A lot of people are going to be out telling all our fans, if listeners, you listen to us, October 16th down on the Camden waterfront. Y'all come out, come vibe with us, come catch some flicks. Enjoy the moment, man. It's for
absolutely. Camden. Yeah, we'll be there in support of you and your family, and everything Jersey Joe Walcott did for the sport. You mentioned. I don't know if you want to give the whole story, but one of the gentlemen that was given his scorecard all night, Larry Hazard.
Oh yeah. Larry Hazard flew in straight from the Pacquiao fight to come to the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame and accept his induction, if that's what you say.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, accept his, and like I said, his whole speech was about how Jersey Joe Walcott put him in the position that he's in, and he's been in it ever since. So, the torch was passed to him, and Larry Hazard, the great that he is, was just sharing that information with everybody, and he will most likely be in attendance. And October 16th. So
October 16th,
Camden waterfront, man. You already know.
Absolutely, lock it in, people. We will be there. Just taking in a new statue for you. Yes,
sir.
That's what's up. But yeah, man, that's all I got.
But yeah.
I don't got anything else.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Shout out to Manny Pacquiao from a long fan. If he ever sees this, long time fan. Love Manny Pacquiao.
If
Great,
he ever sees
illustrious
this.
career. I'm a huge fan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, salute to Manny Pacquiao, man. That's what's up, man.
Listen, man, he gave us a lot of shit in to remember boxing.
Most definitely.
We all have memories of when he fought whoever. You know what I mean? Whether it's a loss or a win for him, it's one.
How about that time Tim Bradley beat his ass?
Tim Bradley never once beat his ass.
Hey, Tim Bradley got up on him, man.
How about that one time
he won't stop talking about
ran around the ring the whole time?
What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you don't remember that. See,
no, not at all.
About. Okay,
that's not at all what I remember.
But yeah, man. So shout out to Manny Pacquiao. We hope he continues.
Indeed.
You know, best of luck in the Philippines and continue to create a legacy there, bro. But that's all I got, man. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got to walk out.
Oh, damn. Do I gotta walk out? No, you go.
Well, while you think about it, I do. I'm walking out to Roy Jones Jr. Y'all must have forgot. Because that's exactly what he walked out to when he received his induction, if that's the word, into the AC Hall of Fame, Boxing Hall of Fame. And I thought that shit was hilarious and it was dope. He rapped the whole fucking song. And I did forget about that song. I'm glad he reminded me about it. So walking out to Roy Jones, y'all must have forgot.
Bet. I like that.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
You forget Roy really had a brief rap career, man. He had a rap career. He was on a remix to whose song was that? One of them ATL niggas. I Smoke, I Drank. I think Boosie was on that shit too.
Yeah,
he had a verse on that. Like Roy,
I drank. Yeah.
Roy had a little rap career, man. Respect Roy Jones, man.
First of all, I don't want to say nothing about nothing, but do you remember that beat was the beat that everybody wanted to rap on when that song came out?
That beat was hard.
We were in like middle school or high school, but that's a long time ago.
Had to be high school.
Holy shit. All right, man. I'm gonna go with Jesus Christ. I didn't think of nothing. Let's go. I'm gonna go with Chef Dreads by Griselda.
Okay.
Just a standard, John.
Griselda gang.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. That's all I got.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Phantom Punch Podcast. Well, what episode 50. Is this? Episode 50. Yeah, that's right.
We made 50. It through.
It's the Floyd joint. 50-0, man. Dope. 50, now let's give him 50 more, man. Let's give him 50 more.
50-1 if you ask the Paul brothers.
Oh, man. Anyway, salute to every fighter that enters the ring. You know, boxing is the hurt business. We love to cover the bright side and the dark side of it, man. We love the sport. We're going to be here to continue to cover it for y'all. Like I said, make sure you guys stay tuned. Sometime later this week, going to give you that special episode recapping the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame convention. And besides that, we'll see you next week. Y'all stay safe, stay COVID free, all that shit, man. Peace.